It is the Nintendo Powercast, episode 331. I'm your host, N64 Josh. Player 2, Nightcrawler. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going? Crawler coming at you. Playing Metroid. Playing Metroid.
Buy Metroid. Buy Metroid.
Yes, buy Metroid.
Buy Metroid. Player 3, Johnny Bo. What's cracking?
What's up? I'm in a really good mood. You know, there's some good Nintendo stuff. And then I literally never lost to you guys in Smash Bros. Last night. So I'm in a good mood.
That's a lie. I beat you. Remember? You said this was my house.
That one time. Yeah.
And then I said, it's not your house anymore.
He ran the table at the end.
With the bros to see if Josh is lying or not. I'm pretty sure he's lying. I don't remember any of that happening.
But hey, let's do good promotion right now at the beginning, because if you like money, come get 100 of Josh's dollars by playing Smash.
Yeah, we have a tournament set up for October 30th. I know last week we said it was going to be last Saturday, but this way all of our coaches are able to participate. N64josh.com/smash. That's my favorite thing to say for Crawler. He loves it every time. So we are right now, the pool of money is set for 100. We're at 165. I've had shout out to Hoffman. He donated a $25 Amazon gift card already. And so I'm just going to continue to build upon the pool. If we get $100, I might even throw in another 100.
Ooh,
like I'm saying, if we get 100 participants, I might throw in another 100.
Pay out those top three a little bit.
How many participants are you at?
I haven't even looked. I doubt it's very high. There hasn't been a ton of promotion yet. But I want this to be an event. I want it to be an event. So if you want to sponsor said event by, having your, like this tournament was brought to you by twitch.tv/JohnnyBo. You can just throw, $25, $50.
You tell me I got to pay you $25?
No, I was just using you as an example. So, but yeah, so we are taking sponsors. Maybe you have a podcast that you're like, yo, I want this. I have a Nintendo podcast and I want to promote it. Here's the way you can do it. So
speaking of podcasts, there is one coming back next week.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
We're going to finally stop pressing pause on press pause.
Oh, I gotta come in and get that ship sailing now. I'm on everything. I got the Smash Cast back together. I'm just
you're the new glue that binds us. So yeah, the press according to Eric, everything is good to go, and we will be starting Halo Infinite podcast going strong. New episode just launched tonight. It's already
two episodes if you're on
two
Audible.
Episodes if you're audio listeners, because somebody,
I don't know what happened. Okay,
somebody posted
NPC
podcast to the Halo. Josh, there's too many podcasts, man. There's too many podcasts.
I know. Plus, I have work podcasts now too, so it's it's good times. Good times.
Josh has like 8 emails to track all the stuff.
Oh yeah, I have like a funny way of memorizing them too. I'm like, okay, that email is tied to like my original gamer tag. That's the Halo Infinite one. And then like, it's funny to me. But, so remember, if you would like to keep your princess from getting into another castle, trim the bushes around the flagpole with Manscaped. You can use code N64Josh at manscaped.com to save 20% off and free shipping. Right now, go pick up a lawnmower and the hedge trimmer.
I did mention that the princess could also use these products as well. I know it's called Manscaped, but it is not only for men.
And they do come with brushes, so you can keep them nice and clean. If you're going to share, just saying. So
I'm just saying it's gender neutral, even though it's called Manscaped.
Yeah. It and I will say this: they are very good products. We would not be talking about them if they weren't good products. So great products. The Chain Chomp deodorizer also works very well. And
Did you write these down before?
No, literally
pretty good.
Literally just popped into my head. So, yeah, N64Josh. Use code save 20% and free shipping at manscaped.com. You can also head on over to n64josh.com/audible and get my book for free, and then sign up for an extra month and get something rad like Console Wars or Ready Player One or something cool. So there we go. That's out of the way. Let's talk about Nintendo stuff. Animal Crossing Direct starting tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Pacific.
We finally get to see the cruise ship. Let's go.
20 minutes of some of the, I don't know. I love the way Nintendo words it because they're like, of content coming out in November. And you're like,
well, there's going to be a one last thing.
Yeah, because Splatoon 3, they were like, games coming out this year. And then they're
before
like,
the end of this holiday.
And then Splatoon 3 years down the road.
I think they say focusing. They kind of like
they
shred that line of phrasing.
It works. But I mean, I know we've kind of taken a ride on the cruise ship a few different times, but I think the real question that I need to ask both of you is, Johnny first, what is it going to take to get you to turn Animal Crossing back on and play it for more than 5 minutes?
Oh man, I want mini games. I want multiplayer mini games to come back. That would be huge because then we could use that. We could play those with the community. That would bring a bunch of people back. I think bring Captain back, and if it's on a cruise ship, I will. All right, if we get a cruise ship, I will buy Josh. What do you want?
The Halo Battle Pass.
Yeah, the Halo Battle Pass. Okay.
I was ready to say OLED, and Carlos like,
no, it can't be that. That's way too much. That's way too rich for my blood.
How about $10?
Or the season pass. I'll buy you the season pass or whatever they charge you for Animal Crossing.
You can just contribute to the Smash.
Oh yeah. Okay, I can do that as well.
Okay, mini games is good. That would help. I mean, make streams more entertaining. Hey, I still think it would be fun to get a group of content creators together and do like a Nintendo Triathlon where we do a number of different games, right? And if some mini games got thrown in that mix from Animal Crossing, like that'd be great.
Specifically 3 if it's a triathlon.
Well, I know. I throw the word around loosely, okay? Like just let me have this. Okay. So
people already make like their own mini games. Like that was a big deal back when Animal Crossing came back. People made
hide and seek's a thing, right?
Yeah, and then obstacle courses, that was another thing.
Oh yeah,
somebody remade the Squid Game stuff. So anything.
That's interesting. That's
well, it was a picture. It was like
I gotcha.
Of red light, green light. It was really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Crawler, what's it going to take? I mean, you've got very little time in this game as it is. So
I have very little time with the franchise. I have over like 300 hours. Like when this game came out, I put in time. I have like over 300
hours. 300 hours in this game? Or
I think so.
Total, like all of the franchise.
I've barely played any of the franchise. So like most of my time, Josh
That's
gave
more
me like
time than I have in this game.
Okay.
300 hours? That's a lot of time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I left it idling, but I don't know.
Did you pay off all your loans?
Yeah, all my loans. I think all my loans are paid off.
All right, sorry, I sidetracked.
But you know what? This is going to be a numbered update. Yeah, I mean a big number change in the front of the update. So let's take advantage of that and implement the new netcode so we have less time waiting for people to come visit our island.
Yeah, just let me.
Can you imagine if they could do a network overhaul on that? That would be nice.
Huge.
Quality of life.
Like,
just
you only
quality
could
of
let
life
one
change.
person in at a time. Like, wasn't that the case?
And when somebody leaves, you see their animation and all the stuff.
Oh yeah.
Just let it be passive entrance and exit. Have it being announced in the bottom of the bottom scroll or something like that. But the interruption that it caused when you try to have an island full of 8 people it's not fun. It makes shopping for the best bell deals a pain in the ass. There's lots of things that just would be quality of life. But I like the idea of mini games. I like the idea that Josh had way back when this game first came out. It's like, find a way to let the old time players relive digging up NES cartridges, or the I don't even know what it was you actually dug up. Was it just different?
No, little NESs. They were tiny NESs.
Yeah, they were little NESs.
But let's integrate 64 and Super NES and NES online into the game. Just find a way to do it. Like, that would just be an homage. Really cool. It would just be an homage. Because you already have to have it pretty much to do that.
If it was, let's just say, like, they didn't even do that much, put in the original Animal Crossing within the game. Like, you dig that up and find it, right?
Yeah.
They would charge you for that.
Because that was a game. Was that a GameCube game?
It was a 64 game in Japan, and then
it was Animal. It wasn't called Animal Crossing. It was called something else. Wasn't it?
Animal Forest, right? I believe, is what it was called in Japan. And so,
I don't think this update's going to be the big one. I think it's going to be, you're going to get.
There's going to be paid stuff later on.
You're going to get some new items. You're going to. I guarantee they probably put Metroid stuff in there because they already have that in New Leaf. So they just put Metroid. Yeah. They put Samus's helmet. They put a Metroid in there, and then they'll be like, "Oh, we got this big update coming, paid DLC by the end of the year or something."
I'd like a better way to catalog stuff, because isn't the catalog system a little clunky?
It's way better than it used to be. Like, it's way better, and they've given us lots of space. But I still feel like more design spots would be great. I think.
I thought they gave us more design spots.
They did, but I think they could always give more. It just allows people to get more creative and not run out, right? Like, just
you got to buy the expansion pass for that, though.
The expansion pack, right? Yeah. Add the extra RAM. So I mean,
yeah, you go ahead. What do you want? What would bring you back? Bring back the Animal Crossing podcast as well.
Yeah. Well, it's coming back for this week. We're going to record an episode this weekend after the announcement. But the thing, like Crawler was saying, I want to dig up Nintendo artifacts, right? I want missions to go get these things. Mm-hmm. Like, give us
achievements. Well, they have the achievements, right? They have the ticket system, right?
They have the stamps and stuff, but like, give me an item that, like, I had to work for, so that when people come over, they're like, "You did this? You completed this? That's crazy." Like, that's the kind of, like, there's got to be more of that carrot on the stick. They really leaned heavy into the design stuff, and that's great. Maybe they need to, like, double or triple the size of the island. Like I said, I think you guys all laughed at me last week when I said that, but like, but I would love it if I could build, I could do each of my seasons within the island. So it's like, here's my fall area, and here's my, without having to constantly tear it down. But that's also part of the gameplay loop, right? It's like, oh, now you can change your seasons.
Or also, like, I remember when I tried to move Nook's Cranny or something like that. Like, I would like a architect view or something like that, where you could maybe stake out spaces so that you can still keep the game loop in the one building move per day or whatever, where you're moving houses and all that kind of stuff. But let there be an overlay or a God mode view to do a city plan without having to pull out your graph paper and or pace it out, or do something in game that allows you to have stuff earmarked for it and then act on it down the road.
What you're describing is how you can transition to the happy home designer view within your house when you're setting up all the furniture.
Yeah.
You just basically want that.
I want it for the
outside.
Yeah.
And be able to plan stuff.
It's already like a grid, right? Like, when you look at the map, it's already grid. So like,
it's just still a little clunky.
And they've had a year and a half of development time, so who knows what they did.
Yeah, because they added online to Mario Party after 2 years, so it's been there the whole time. They just got to turn it on.
You just got to flip a switch. Brewster's there. Tortimer's like hiding somewhere in the background.
Like the whole thing that turned me off, like I probably stopped playing a lot when Red was like very hit or miss. Like there's no rhyme or reason to when he shows up at the back of the island. So it's like if that could be a little more consistent, the hunting to get everything, I think I have most of the fossils. I don't know if I have them all, but the process of going through to try to get the artwork is exhausting, and I'm not logging in enough to do that. So if they could find a way to make that more consistent.
I found a way.
What, did you
have a Discord community that
gave you everything.
So I had somebody
Don't
in the
you
community
have like
give me a bunch of artwork,
expensive like decorations out in your island too of stuff people brought you? Yeah,
you gotta be careful with that though, because they give you the fake ones. You know, I had somebody in my community give me fake.
Well, they
artwork.
just hate you then.
These are the robots that you have to build. That like
that cost all those parts that you
you get from Gulliver or whatever.
Yeah. So tomorrow, my hope is that we see the community alive, well, and excited for what got announced. Like Brewster's great, but it's really not much gameplay there. Like, yes, you can go in and work the coffee shop, but they need to rework that so that there's a reason to go do that. Because trying to memorize everybody's drinks and you're like, oh, they want mountain milk and they want, like light brew, like light coffee and mountain milk.
That just sounds like tea time at
Fire Emblem.
That's kind of it. I mean, it was great that it was there, and you would get some cool things for doing it, right? But that's not going to satisfy the community at this point.
One thing that worries me is it's in the museum. Like, there's not a separate. It used to be a separate building. It used to be a separate cafe.
Josh built one in his island.
Yeah, I have Brewster's on my island. Like I have the.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, is it just gonna be you walk in a museum and that's all you get? There's no.
Like, think about the aquarium though. I mean, you walk in there and it's like this is going to be the most killer Brewsters we've ever seen. I guarantee it. There's going to be tons of tables. I mean, because it's 8 people, right? Like they may do something to where like maybe KK can do a show in there. Like maybe you unlock something if you have 8 people show up on your island and you all watch KK perform. I don't know what the how do they make that entertaining? How do they make, are you going to bust tables and have a time limit for it? Like
museums open 24 hours a day, right? You can go into the museum anytime. So it's not like Nook's Cranny or
I don't recall if Brewster's was open. It may have been being a coffee shop. I don't recall, but it's great that it's there, but I know a lot of people would say, well, that should have been there from the beginning, right? That's going to be a common, which I get. And at the same time, I'm like, I have like 500 hours in this game. Like they did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Like the problem is if you
all burned ourselves out.
It served as second life that became real life for people.
Yeah,
I paid off my loans in a month. Like that's not how you're supposed to play that game.
I just played the market, and you make a ton of money if you played the market with a community. It was too easy to make money.
Oh, and then you have me that would like find on my light the good day to sell, and then I would switch my other island to Sunday. And then just buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell.
Yeah, the turnip market was
insider
kind of
training.
Yeah, it's kind of broken. But
and they kept trying to fix it, but there's only so much they can do.
Yeah, but now I have millions and millions of bells and nothing to spend it on.
Yeah, and I think one of the things they could do is add some super high cost items, like another addition to your house, but make it to where you have to pay 10 million before he does it, you know? So it's like, oh, I need to be making money. I need to go. They need to make the islands that you visit worth going to.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, the only reason the money and the bugs isn't there anymore.
No, the only reason we would go is to find the new character that we wanted, right? I think some new villagers would be. Tarantula Islands were fun. Like, they were cool.
This
like,
game was awesome when it first came out. Like, it was awesome. I wish they could somehow recapture that by updating it. I mean, we're not going to see another Animal Crossing until the Switch's successor, most likely.
A tornado comes to your island and wipes everything out.
Yeah,
start fresh.
To start all over. Well, New Leaf, they allowed you to sell your island at one point. Like, I think, I don't know, a couple of years into it, they implemented the system where you could sell your island and get, like, I don't know, whatever your island was worth. Like, say it's 2 million bells, and then you would restart the game, but you'd start with 2 million bells, so you're already ahead of the thing. So they might implement something like that.
Well, and what if they added a little, like, you're getting me thinking here, Johnny, like, what if, to keep the theme of New Horizons going, they're like, yo, you've done such a great job on this island. Now let's go settle Harv's Island, and Gracie can move in. Those vendors that only sit out front periodically could actually get storefronts. You know, there could, like,
that. Oh man, that sounds awesome. If we have a second island,
yeah,
or like Town and City, wasn't there like a lot more storefronts there or something like that, right?
You would go, you had your little town, but then you could go to the city, and that's where my idea with the cruise ship came from. But maybe there is a city we travel to, you know.
Even New Leaf had the, like, you know, at the bottom was your island, and then at the top was all the stores. So it was more like a marketplace, as opposed to, you know, you just put your nooks cranny wherever you want. Which, like, that's a cool system. I'm glad they did that. It's just, we need something new. We need something to bring.
They need to establish
the
Billionaires Yacht Club.
Yeah, exactly. That would be cool. Yeah, because they have to know the stats on how many bells everybody has. Like, I haven't played this game in like 6 months. I wonder what my interest is on those bells.
It's crap.
Just sitting on good. There. It's not good. Okay.
They lowered the interest rate.
Yeah, they lowered it a ton. The other thing that would be super fun is jet skis. Like, you're talking about Yacht Club, but I mean, give us jet skis to bomb around the water and do races with people, like eight person jet ski races, or
Wave Race 64 coming to.
You just put Wave Race in there.
I mean, something like that.
That was what was cool about Animal Crossing on GameCube. We were talking about the NES games. Like, it was like an homage to all of the Nintendo properties. Even New Leaf had the fortune cookies. I don't know if I didn't really play the one on Wii, but I don't know if that one had stuff like that. But that's what I think New Horizons is lacking. Like, it's very contained. There's the Mario stuff, but that's not. It was always all Nintendo stuff.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I have whole rooms that are like all Nintendo stuff. Mario Karts are in there, and you know, and that's the other thing too. Like, give us Mario Karts. Like, if we could do jet skis around the island, also let us make a go-kart track. You know,
you have. That would be cool.
We need a lot more space on these islands if we're going to be doing that kind of stuff.
Oh my god,
we need a second.
We're going down the path of unrealistic expectations for these Nintendo Directs.
Oh, there's no way in tomorrow's presentation that, like, honestly, I think it's going to be, look at all these new items, look at these new Nintendo items, look at Brewster, and stay tuned for next year for the big update, you know? Like, I don't know that we're going to get too much more than that. But New Leaf had campers incorporated after the fact, and you could, I believe,
that Amiibo stuff too. The Amiibo cards.
Yeah, and they've talked about Amiibo cards coming back. Are they going to play a bigger role? Is there something else there that we can?
They re-released New Leaf. They called it
Oh yeah, add Amiibo
or something.
Yeah, it's like New Leaf plus Amiibo or something like that. I have a sealed copy of it. I was like, I'm just gonna keep this sealed.
That's not out of the, like they could release New Horizons plus new, I don't know, New Island or something, like New Horizons plus 2, and then like bundle that together just to resell it again.
And I mean, I'm fine buying some more content for Animal Crossing as long as there's enough pull there. And that's where my concern is. My concern is that they're going to give us a lot of things that most Animal Crossing fans are used to that aren't going to be all that thrilled about it. But the amount that this game is sold, there's a ton of Animal Crossing players that don't know what they should be used to because they've never really gotten into this series before.
Yeah, I mean, it sold, 30 something, it's like 30 million.
It's second best selling game on the system.
Yeah, New Leaf sold 10, 12 million. So there's 20 million people that have never played New Leaf.
Right.
So they don't know. They probably didn't know diving was in there.
Yeah.
They didn't know. I don't know what else they added, but there's a bunch of things that are in New Horizons or New Leaf that aren't in New Horizons that they could just add.
I think I haven't seen 2 season changes. I just stopped playing the second half.
Yeah. I think I've only played, March through April.
Yeah. I mean, I've most of my museums done. I'm missing like a couple fish. I think that's it. Either that or a couple bugs. I have one of them complete, but
they could add new fossils. Like I completed my fossils, so they could add more things to find. Those are simple, but like what would really bring people back is something unexpected, brand new, even if it costs $20, $30. Like
Nintendo theme it. People love the Nintendo theming.
Yeah.
I played Pocket Camp. I've said it on here before, but I went back to Pocket Camp because they had a Mario themed fishing tournament where you could catch cheeps, and I was like, I'm here for this.
Yeah.
Bloopers, cheeps, like the museum is so massive that they need to double the amount of fish and they need to double the amount of bugs. I think that would also give people something to do. I think I know doubling is a lot, but like those tanks are huge and there's plenty of room in them.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room. And maybe like we've talked jet skis, maybe we do get a boat and you have to troll with your fish, your fishing pole in order to catch certain fish. I don't know how deep they'll go, right?
They also have the crafting aspect, which they could change some of that stuff up. They could add new crafting items. They could add farming. If you want to add some type of sim into it.
They could change.
They kind of did that with the pumpkins, right? Like there's a couple items,
elements of farming there for sure.
Kind of farm.
And the flowers have always been, an element of gardening. So
it's just bunny day 24/7.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, the quality of life stuff, let us take all the manila clams and make bait really fast, and then add another type of clam that we can make a secondary kind of bait that only catches certain kinds of fish. That might extend
crafting, right? Like it's one at a time.
Yeah, with the manila clams, it's just like it's monotonous. You're just like, come on, just let me do 10 at once, So yeah, I'm while we talk big and we have high expectations, I'm gonna be happy with whatever comes out. What I want the most though is I want a full-on expansion for AC that I had no problem paying $50 for 6 extra fighters in Smash. Yeah. Like I'll pay $20 or $30 for another island, a cruise ship, something that like I want to see my wife and kids playing AC again,
I want to see everybody playing AC again. Like that was such a fun time when it came out. Also, you said you had 500 hours. Crawler, you said you had 300 hours in the game. I have like 200 hours. We got our money's worth.
Oh, for sure.
For the $60.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt.
So I don't mind spending money for DLC, for an expansion. because I know that could add another 100, 200 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, easily. And I mean, here's the other thing though. Like, I know we're saying, oh, like keep the expectations managed and all that kind of thing. This team, Nintendo is probably like, yo, here's the profits that we made. You guys want to get a little more creative? Have some fun, maybe. You know what I mean? There's that possibility is there that they're like, what did you guys cut out of the original scope of this that you really wish was there? And then they can go back to the drawing board and be like, well, we cut this and we cut this. And that game was already delayed, right? So
I'd say
they know there's stuff
they
on
delayed
the
it
cutting room floor.
3 months or something like that. But like you'd think Nintendo would be crazy not to take advantage of their second best selling game, but and put more content into it. But their number one selling game, they haven't done anything about in 8 years.
Because they don't have to. They don't have to. Every Switch sells, and people are like, I need half a Mario Kart. That's what happens. Every Switch sells, they buy half a Mario Kart.
It's not just, getting your existing players to buy a new expansion, or it's getting people probably stop playing their Switch after spending so much time on Animal Crossing. They probably haven't come back. Say you release a huge DLC pack for Animal Crossing, they'll come back. They might buy, Pokemon when that comes out, or Metroid.
Dread. Yep.
Yeah. So it makes sense. It makes sense for them to release some type of expansion for the holiday season, get people excited again. Like, now I'm excited. We got 9 hours left.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. It's going to be cool. So, Johnny, you've gone hands-on with the OLED. Like, give us a quick overview, kind of share your first impressions and
it's so bright.
It's like video does not do it justice. It does not do it justice. The screen is phenomenal. Like, it is night and day if you look at it next to your OG Switch. And the Vita had an OLED screen, but a lot of PlayStation games are, dark and muddy. Nintendo has all these vibrant, colorful games, so they all just look gorgeous on it. It has better speakers, which I didn't realize that was a thing.
They moved them, didn't they?
Yeah, the sound quality is much better if you're not playing with headphones on.
That's cool.
The white Joy-Con, like, come on.
Yeah, the white Joy-Con is the reason I want it.
That's worth $350.
It's worth the $350 right there. When are we gonna get those separately?
The bezel, like, is so.
Yeah,
tiny
the bezel
now.
is smaller. It's not as smaller. It's not as small as I was expecting it to be. Like, I thought it would be a little bit, but I guess they have to make sure everything.
That is loud. Wow.
Yeah, sorry, I turned it.
No, you're good.
But yeah,
how about that kickstand though?
The kickstand's nice. I actually used it today. I was watching Hulu on
Hulu and YouTube. That's all you can do.
Got the kickstand. It's real nice. Real nice. The dock. So the dock has a built-in LAN port, which we've been playing Smash, and I've actually noticed.
Rumored to be 4K ready. They just got to turn it on.
Yeah. There is a dock update thing when you search for dock updates. That's one of the things. But it has a little give, so it's not as tight as the original dock. Yeah, and I think that's to not scratch the screen. It kind of messed me up a little bit because I couldn't find the right spot. It's a little jiggly.
Well, the OLED will fit obviously in the old dock, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And then the old switches fit in the new dock.
Yeah.
And all of the accessories, like the Joy-Con, work. I think the only thing that doesn't work are grips. I don't really understand why grips wouldn't work. Because I think isn't the form factor the same size?
I think the OLED is just a couple centimeters bigger is all, but that they're designed, like, their tolerances are very, very, like, to give you an example, I have I thought I had it here next to me. Oh yeah, the Hori D-pad, right? That you can put on the Switch, and the grip like folds this in order to fit it in. Like, I have the Satisfy grip. I love them. They're a great product, but it's tight with this, and you
They're
can
they're
barely
they're made
notice.
to be within millimeters so that they just
So
snap
they're
in.
taking the Apple approach. You got to get new accessories.
It's yeah.
But coming from somebody that has a day one Switch, I think it's worth the upgrade. You have a better battery life, which I've already noticed. The screen, fantastic. You have more internal storage as well.
Oh, what does it come with internally?
64.
64.
Oh, wow. I forgot they doubled that. Yeah, that is big.
The OLED screen, it's a lot better than I was expecting. It's a lot more vibrant.
That's cool.
I think $350 is kind of steep, but my original Switch was kind of on. It felt like it was on its last legs. It even feels higher quality than the original Switch.
I want to know, because every Switch I've owned, every time, like if you play them handheld for any amount of time, every Joy-Con starts to feel loose in them.
It doesn't feel. I mean, I've only had it for 3 days. It doesn't feel. I mean, it's a little. It has a little give, but I think that's on purpose.
That could be. It's just something I've noticed as I've, I had my original, and then used my warranty at GameStop for it because the kickstand wouldn't stay in place because the little piece of plastic broke.
Oh yeah, the kickstand, the original kickstand is a joke.
Yeah.
It always falls off.
And so that was the second one. My son had one. My wife's had one. We've had, and every time I'm like, oh, I love the feel of new Joy-Cons. And then like, it doesn't last but like 2 days. And then it's like, oh, they're all loose again.
I had a thought. Oh, I do not know if the Joy-Con drift is fixed. I've been getting that question a lot on TikTok and about this.
I was just going to comment. I don't know. I don't know if Spawnwave has made a video yet.
From what I was checking yesterday, he hadn't torn apart yet, but everything that I've found, like, because there's been more news recently about the lawsuits and that kind of stuff. Everything I found is saying nothing has changed.
Because there's allegedly some piece of styrofoam or something in it.
Yeah, that was in the Zelda. Apparently in the Zelda Joy-Cons. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna take months to figure. Honestly, my Joy-Con on my original Switch didn't drift for years, so I don't know how long it's gonna take to find out if this thing's gonna drift or not.
I think the bulk of us, at least the three of us here, play bulk of our gaming on Pro Controller, so we don't really put our
GameCube controller.
Yeah, we don't put our Joy-Con through the wear and tear.
But I have noticed myself playing handheld more now that I have it. I got Tetris Effect on it. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I'm buying that for my wife tonight, actually. So, I mean, I have three sets. The right Joy-Con doesn't drift, but I mean, my Smash Joy-Con
it's always the left one. It's always the left one.
I have yellow set that drifts, and yeah, and I mean, the problem is I know people that don't play their Switch anymore because of their drift. They're like, yeah, it's just not, it doesn't work.
Can't you send in your Joy-Con?
Yeah, but you don't guarantee. They don't guarantee your color coming back.
Yeah, like if I send my Smash one in, I won't get it back.
That sucks.
Yeah. So, but that's I
saw my original Joy-Con from the inbox of the original Switch, and those ones had the issue of not connecting, and it still doesn't connect because I never sent it in, but it still doesn't connect.
The first
all the time.
The first extra set of Joy-Cons I bought were the blue, and they didn't connect. I had to send them both in. Like, I mean, it just happens. It's not, but the drift, and I mean, what's interesting is as I was researching this stuff a little bit, Nintendo's known for like, I mean, I have controllers from the 80s that work just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, 64 controllers, depending on how hard people were on them, those things they would flop, but they would still work.
You grinded out enough white powder out of the joystick.
I mean, I got this day one as the Pro controller. So
yeah, I modded mine just so the D-pad worked better because the D-pad has misinputs all the time.
Yeah.
So
I did want to mention that your saves, transferring your saves from one Switch to another is kind of a pain, and there's like different ways of doing it. So don't get rid of your
requirements, right?
Yeah, don't get rid of your original Switch or the Switch that you've been using before you transfer all your content or all your saves over to your new one. I'm gonna plug my video here, but I did make a video on how to transfer all your saves using Cloud, Manual, and then Animal Crossing, because I transferred my island as well. So
yeah, Nintendo needs to have some kind of upload service that you can connect to so that you don't have to sit at a GameStop or whatever if you're trying to do the trade-in. And Josh has done that a few times.
Yeah. Yep, when my warranty was up, I had to sit in GameStop and transfer data.
It wouldn't be bad if, all of the games supported cloud saves.
Right.
But there's only a couple that don't. It's like Splatoon, Pokemon, Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's wild. It's wild that it's not a little bit better, but it'll improve. It's new waters for them, right? I mean, it's just the way it is. So
it is selling well in Japan. 130,000 units, I think.
Awesome. 138,409 units sold.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it was less than the Lite, but still, I mean, it's more expensive.
Yeah, that's great though. I mean, love to hear that. That's
last week.
Incredible.
Japan bought 474 new 2DS. 2DSs.
Almost sells more than an Xbox.
Okay, but do you want to know why? I don't know if that's a factor though, but what I've been hearing is Metroid has been selling so well that people are looking for ways to play Metroid games now.
But you can't on the 3DS.
Well, you can play Metroid, Super Metroid, and
Federation Force,
Samus Returns, and Federation Force.
Returns. I forgot about Samus Returns.
And you could play Metroid Hunters if you can go and track that down. But
segue.
Yeah, exactly. The
professional podcasting.
I'm guessing that the Wii U. I mean, we know Crawler, you purchased or planning on purchase.
I did. Right? I bought both of them.
Say I'm contributing to that because I'm almost done with Dread, and my next plan of purchase is to get Fusion and
Zero Mission.
I think on Wii U. I think there's going to be a pack coming.
I hope so.
It's going to be coming soon.
I want to see. I mean, a pack would be great. That would be cool. But I kind of want to see this team.
The artwork is beautiful that they put together. So, like, I would love to see a collector's edition Metroid Legacy collection. And they and also the hand-drawn game guides guy, I forget his name, but I had backed that Kickstarter before he shut it down, like within the last 6 hours. He says it's not due to cease and desist, but I think there is some legal.
They hired him.
Legal hurdles he has to get through, but like he had done incredible artwork for a Metroid hand-drawn, the original Metroid guide, Zelda, Ninja Gaiden, and Contra. And like it was really cool stuff, but the Kickstarter got pulled. But like people appreciate that kind of artwork. So like the artwork that they have for the Dread stuff in the special edition is beautiful. Like let's celebrate games and let people have access to. That's more than half the reason why I love the Switch. Is it's expensive, but at least it's game preservation. Nintendo has done a really good job of at least giving us more access than they have almost ever done, and Konami and other games included, like companies giving. We have all the Mega Man games. We have all a good chunk. We have original Metroid and Super Metroid, and we're getting 64 stuff coming here soon. So like, it's a good way to preserve the history that Nintendo has, and so like I want to see more.
Absolutely, yeah, and the articles that I've been seeing are people are trying to get more Metroid. They want to know more about this series. They want to play more. Dread is incredible. Like, we're not going to do any spoilers. You don't have to worry about that. The gameplay is fluid. The cutscenes are amazing. The storytelling and the sense of dread that you get from dealing with the Emmys.
Freaking Emmys, man.
Yeah,
they're
and
terrifying.
then dread of getting killed 1,500 times by one, and
you will die. You'll get excited when you get the successful counters on the Emmys.
Oh my god! I think I've hit one out of.
I hit one 2 times in a row. I countered, and I think I was in a call with Josh. I think you might have been there too. I don't know if you were still there or not, but like I got captured. I countered in the first one, and then I tried to run away, and I got cornered again, and I did it immediately again. I felt like a badass because it never happens against the Emmys. It's such a small window.
The one I took on today, it took me a handful of tries, and I countered it twice and ended up finishing
while
it
you
off.
had the Omega Cannon.
Yeah.
I think the best part of the Emmy encounters. I mean, this isn't really spoilers, right? Like everybody knows about the Emmys.
Yeah, of course.
But the sound design, like when you're in the Emmy area and you hear
it's echoey.
And you're like, where is it?
Yeah.
And then you see the big red dot on your map.
Well, and I have the Astro A10 Zelda headphones, and I threw my Satisfy grip on my Switch last night and plugged those headphones in and just laid in bed and it kind of just went through and found everything I needed to find in the area. And then as soon as I have to do like a boss fight or anything like that, I'll typically go and grab the Pro Controller. Like, I'll dock it and do the Pro Controller just because it's easier. But I cannot say enough good about this game. The whole conversation of, is it worth $60? Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Like, to me, it's worth. Like, the best tweet I saw today was people are comparing it to Ori and Hollow Knight, and those games should have been $60.
Yep,
is exactly what is how that really should be. I mean, game devs need to get paid.
It's so weird, the price and the value. That's always a conversation. But value is subjective, right? Mm-hmm. This game is worth $60 to us. I think it's worth $60 really to anybody. But, if somebody's looking at it and be like, oh, I don't think a 2D side-scrolling game is worth $60, then just don't buy it.
Yeah.
But we already know it's selling well because in Japan, it's sold the best that series has ever sold in the first week. Yeah.
It sold almost 87,000 units in Japan, which is all we have to go off because that's Famitsu gets us the numbers, and we don't see numbers for North America till a financial quarter ends.
and that was physical copies, so we don't know what it sold digitally.
Yep. I mean, I will say, like, I'm like 13 hours in. I think I'm on the final boss. I'm close enough to understanding the multiple boss stages that it goes through. So I'm close to being done. I will say I got lost for like 2 hours, and I ended up just kind of going around to different zones as I was powered up, trying to get more power-ups and stuff. But the game definitely leads you kind of down a narrow path for the time being. It takes the guardrails off as you get closer to the end, but it definitely tries to lock you in some areas and keep you.
And you will never get soft locked, all right? You will never be soft locked in an area. If you're stuck, just start shooting walls.
Just shooting walls. Throwing bombs down on the ground. Yep.
I literally saw a video today of somebody whining about
I saw that.
the design. And then it was just all these clips of all these streamers in the same exact spot having no issue. Like, literally pointing their gun right where they needed to.
I mean, all you got to do, if you do it once, you're like, oh, so that's how this game's gonna be.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna have to look for these, spots that
it's
are
all about it, and that's how the game's always been.
Yeah, I mean,
I saw that as well, and that was a game dev that was doing that.
Yeah. Again, it's the hot takes. I mean, I honestly, like, when we first saw Dread, I was like, yes, I'm excited, but like at the same time, there was a sense of worry for me because like I hold Super Metroid. I'm wearing the shirt right now. I hold that game at like very high regard. Like I love that game, and so I honestly didn't think that Dread could capture what Super Metroid did for me, and it's far exceeded my expectations. It has far exceeded them. I can't wait. It this is a game that has that Nintendo magic that you don't want to put it down. You don't stop thinking about it when you're not playing it, and you can't wait to get back to it. Like I
I'm
keep
so
debating
frustrated because I'm really early on, and you guys are so far ahead of me.
Yeah, we're all three in different spots. Like Johnny's within the first like 2 or 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
And Josh is about mid game, and I'm at end game. And I will say I spent some time the other night. The speed block puzzles in this game are insane. There are some crazy things that you see. You're like, that's a speed block. I have to get there by doing the charge, and there's one I broke down and I had to be like, how do you actually do this? And I watched a video, but watching a video is one thing, but then you have to turn around and you have to execute, and that so like just looking up how to do it is half the, like, it's not even half, it's like an eighth of the challenge, because trying to turn around and execute it is there's some I think I'm just gonna leave, because there's one that's total insanity.
It's interesting to hear people talk about challenge when you talk about a Nintendo game, because Nintendo games are not historically that challenging.
This is not a baby game.
Yeah, it's not a baby game. I mean, there are definitely challenging parts in games, in Nintendo games, if you want to be a completionist, but this one is actually challenging from start to finish. There's no, well, I don't know about finish, but even in the beginning, like it's more difficult than a lot of Nintendo games usually are in the beginning.
In this game, it'll even tell you, like, the map will blink at you when you're in the map setting to tell you that there's a hidden item somewhere for you to go find. But even then, that adds to you having to find where the hidden blocks possibly are. You have to identify what ability will get you through said blocks. If it's one of the speed block challenges, like I was telling you about, that's a whole nother thing that you have to problem solve, because it's not as simple as just having the spin jump or whatever to break through the blue blocks or whatever. So it's definitely, and I will say, when you get the I forget what the special end game laser is, but like the one that just shoots through walls, like you just feel like a badass running around, because you can shoot stuff well before you get there, and you have infinite jumps at that point, and your jump does damage, and you're just moving around super powered Samus. And the suit that you have at the end, Smash needs a palette update.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing that I found with this game is I've never felt at any point that it was like unfair. It was like you always feel like you have the tools that you need. The thing is, you have so many tools that oftentimes you forget. There's certain bosses that will jump to the wall and then spike down, and you can just use a move to easily get out of the way. Easily get out of the way.
And the desk screen reminds you, it's like no boss attack is not avoidable. Like they tell you, every move has a counter or an avoidance that you can do, or in your arsenal you have something to defeat it. So they aren't cheating you in any way by throwing something at you that you're not either powered to do or have the ability to avoid. And in this game, when you die, you're right back. You're almost right back in front of the action.
The checkpoints are pretty forgiving.
Yeah, like coming from somebody that beat the true ending of Hollow Knight, and I think I still have a few more things left to do in like the DLC. But like, if you die in Hollow Knight, first off, you're poor, and you got to go back and find your your shade to get your money back. But you also have to you spawn at a bench probably somewhere across the map, and you got to work your way back to go get your shade. So this game is definitely generous in putting you right where you need to be to keep going.
So would you say that this is the Dark Souls of Nintendo games?
You see a lot of game over screen. I'm curious. Metroid usually gives you statistics at the end, at least your playtime, but I'd be curious to see how many deaths I have.
Yeah. This game feels like it was made by people that loved the series, right? That it's not just hey, let's slap the Metroid name on a modern 2D Metroidvania. It is made by people that love the series, that took their time, that the product is speaking for itself. The sales numbers are speaking for themselves. Yeah. Do you know, it's crazy, but we can thank Animal Crossing and the state of the world for the amount of Switches that are out there now that these people are getting to some people are trying Metroid for the first time.
Yeah. It's also it's the Switch effect. Like games just sell, especially Nintendo published games. They just sell on the Switch. Like every single new Nintendo iteration is most likely going to be the best selling in that series. I think there's only a couple that have not been. Yeah. So I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad this Metroid came out on the Switch and not on Wii U, because if it came out on Wii U, it'd be a dead series.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be the game it is right now. It wouldn't.
I'm even glad, Samus Returns that did not sell well.
Mm-mm.
It did not sell
even on a system that has millions upon millions of units out there.
Yeah, it came out like end of life.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people were skeptical of Mercury Steam. Is it Mercury Steam?
Yeah,
they were skeptical because of that game. Because of there's a couple other things that I think they've worked on that did not pan out too well. And this just gives everybody confidence. And now, we have a strong Metroid developer,
right?
And then Retro Studios is making Metroid Prime. This is it feels like Metroid's time to come back.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's like it's the season of Metroid, and it's really
give us trilogy.
Really, well, and obviously Dread's been in the work for a while, right? Mm-hmm. It was teased back in the mid 2000s, I believe. Yeah, and so they had to have taken it as a good sign when everybody was pretty pissed about. We all understood, the majority of us understood why Prime had to get delayed with because they care about the franchise. They care about the quality of the game that was going to come out.
They stripped it down and started building it back up from the bare bones.
Well, and they saw the results of Federation Force, albeit a fun game. The fact that they slapped a Metroid name onto that game, they could see the passion of the fans that were like, yo, this ain't it. This ain't it, Chief. We want real Metroid. Again, Federation Force is actually a fun title.
That's coming in the mail for me on Saturday. So I'm
gonna
hold you to you saying you're gonna play with me. So
all right, Johnny, you got to get it too. We need
I gotta 4. Get it too. Now I think they can do stuff like that. They can do these spin-off games,
right?
Because the same thing happened with Animal Crossing with Amiibo Festival. Everybody was
angry, right?
They're mad. People were mad about that game.
Yeah.
But then New Horizons come out. They could probably, well, maybe not now, if they release Amiibo Festival 2 before they release some big expansion, that might not go over well.
But if Amiibo Festival was literally Animal Crossing Mario Party, that would have been a totally different story. If we were literally playing a board game with fun mini games.
Did that game even have mini games? I don't even know.
Yeah, it was weak. One of them ended up being available on New Leaf. If you found the Wii U, you could play some matching, you had to. It was like a concentration.
Wii U was
style
such
game
a weird time. Such a weird time.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, buy Metroid. I can't. If I was gonna give Metroid, I haven't beat it, but if I was gonna give it it's everything I wanted. Like it has far exceeded my expectations. I can't wait to play through this game, and then I'm gonna play through it immediately again. I'm
gonna play through it again. Yeah, like, and I wanna try to speedrun it, or not speedrun it, but
beat it quick.
Mainline it a little bit more.
Yeah, I have people that are asking me. They're like, "Yo, I'm really stuck in this game, and I'm really waiting for you to stream because I want to see how to do it."
I think we're gonna usher Johnny along a little bit to get his let's play. His
I gotta
play sessions.
I mean, you gotta stop making me play Smash Bros for 3 hours, and then maybe I could do it.
And well,
this weekend,
you got a weekend coming up. You can bust out a few recordings, but you can look for a special edition NPC coming out here sometime. I don't know if next week will happen, but probably maybe the weekend after next. Maybe
season's over.
Yeah, we will maybe on a Saturday night or something like that. We'll sit down and we're gonna do a spoiler cast because we definitely want to talk about it. And there's some stuff at the end of the game that's worth talking about. That's all I'll say.
So there's I'm not that far in. I'm like 2.5 hours in, I think, and I got to the first boss, and I knew this game was gonna be just what I wanted because the way the first boss ends, and she just walks up. And like, I love how she completes that battle. It's epic. I'm like,
Samus in this game definitely has a cool guys don't look at explosions.
Yeah, she got swagger.
I love it. All right, well, real quick, Johnny, where can people find you?
I am Johnny Bo everywhere: Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I'm doing a blind playthrough of Metroid Dread. That's what I'm currently working on.
Yeah, we've been doing some fun like TikTok streams, live streams too, where we're playing Smash and people get to pick who we get to play as, and then we get to just dominate the other person.
Yeah, it's kind of unfair. I had to play as Pichu.
Like, same. It was not didn't end well. So Crawler, where can we find you?
Putting out random tweets on Twitter, Nightcrawler724, Nightcrawlers without the E. Different podcasts all over. We got Press Pause, hopefully coming back this Wednesday. We got Halo Infinite podcast on Thursdays. We got NPC that you're listening to right now. We got Smash Bros cast occasionally. We've been doing that on Josh's YouTube. You got Smashing with the Bros, which all three of us have been doing a little bit, and also pulling in some different people from the community.
We're making a lot of content.
What else are we doing? Is there one more show that I'm forgetting? Bendu podcast occasionally Fridays or Wednesdays. I'm not sure if we've settled on a regular schedule, but talking Star Wars, and there's plenty to be talking about there with Visions and other stuff coming out. We got Book of Boba Fett coming out here pretty soon. So been watching Squid Game. Come tweet at me about that. I'm rewatching.
Oh yeah, are we all through it now?
I think we're all
finished it last night.
Yeah, Josh finished it last night. So yeah. Well,
it was like a Splatoon anime or something, right? Is that what we're talking
about? Yeah. It was kind of. I don't get all the memes because I think I watched something else.
Yeah, the internet's not a safe place if you haven't finished Squid Game yet. There's a lot of
TikTok.
Stuff.
You will see everything.
Just ruin it for you.
Yeah, I can't. I've seen stuff on Dread on Twitter when people do screen share or they post their clips. I'm like, like I don't want to see nothing.
I just tried to show Josh the final suit the other day. I wasn't going to show him the boss, and he's like, I don't want to see.
I know. I like I'm trying to be as blind as possible. So Josh put a video out that I knew of what the boss was, but I let it run. But I didn't watch it, okay?
I appreciate you. All right. Thank you everybody that was here live. And we do appreciate you guys hanging out. We are doing these Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific, 9:30, just depending on how the Halo stuff goes. And of course, you can watch it after the fact on YouTube or listen on your favorite podcast player. So we will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.